Today is June 7th, 2021, and Apple just wrapped up their introduction keynote. I missed the live keynotes. Who's with me? Let me know right below. Anyway, they just wrapped up their keynotes, and I have a lot to say. Or do I? I don't know, roll the intro. What's up, everyone? How you doing today? My name is Franco, and I am a full-time content creator. If this is your first time here, check out my personal website right below, and please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. You know, the thing you're watching right now. It's free. Give it a shot. You won't. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to today's WWDC, in other words, or in other letters, WW 21 announcements. Apple had a lot to show, and while as my new tradition goes, I like to go to apple.com for the first time ever since the new announcements and explore some things that are new alongside you guys and just give you my first impressions based on what I see right in front of me. So here we go. Zoom on out, baby. Zoom on out. Let's go to apple.com. Let's go full screen, and let's see what we have here. I do have my notes on the left. So I will be talking about iOS 15, obviously. iPadOS, a very huge feature in relation to Siri. Possibly my favorite announcement today, sadly. But that's such a huge feature. Stay tuned. WatchOS, which was, you know. And MacOS Monterey. Not Manatee. Monterey. Okay, here we go. Apple.com, let's scroll on down and start out with iOS 15. Now, I gotta say right off the bat, guys, I wasn't wowed by iOS 15, but you also have to keep in mind whether you're an iOS user or Android user, I think it's pretty safe to say that you agree with my next statement. We are so far into our devices. We're so far into these software updates. Well, we're kind of to the point where, like, what else can Apple do? What else can Google do to absolutely blow our mind? So I think this is one of those years where iOS 15 feels like a 14 dot whatever kind of update, you know? Last year was more significant. Last year we got widgets and all that stuff. iOS 15 feels like more of a personal update this year. I think mostly in relation to COVID, which makes complete sense because they spend so much time talking about things like FaceTime improvements and Airplay and messages improvements, basically ways to bring people closer together without actually being close together. And well, you know what? I do agree with that move. The pandemic, we're moving closer towards the end, but I think we still have a long way to go until things get back to quote-unquote normal. So until then, we have features like this. So here we go. New experiences, true connections. Apple did spend quite a bit of time today talking about FaceTime. I do use FaceTime, usually just with my parents on occasion, so I'm not like a heavy FaceTime user, but sometimes I do use it for clients as well, and it's definitely nice to have rather than having to use Skype. I'm not a fan of Skype anymore these days. Like if I were to video chat with someone, I'm going to do it with FaceTime, because pretty much anyone I know nowadays usually has a Mac, usually has an iPhone, iPad, or whatever, so they're just trying to make the FaceTime experience that much better. Especially with something called Airplay. So this basically allows you to watch TV shows, movies, and listen to music, or even sharing your screen. That's huge with me. I have always been fascinated with the idea of sharing your screen with others, or vice versa. Anyway, now you can do all of the above with people via FaceTime. And that's really cool. Now, how often am I going to use this? Probably not all that often. But again, I do use FaceTime with clients now and then. And sometimes it would be nice to share my screen just intuitively with FaceTime. Well, because, come on, guys, we've all been there. We hold up our phones to like a website, because I'm a web designer. And I'm like, well, would you like it here? Would you like it here? Now you can seamlessly share your screen via FaceTime. And that's actually kind of huge in itself. So for someone like me, I can definitely see the benefit of that. What else do we have here? Let's just scroll down. Spatial audio. Basically, Apple's trying to make it more natural-like when you're talking to people via FaceTime. So I guess the audio is going to sound more like they're in the room with you. I don't know how they're going to do that. I think this is more of a group chat thing. So let's say someone's talking on the left and someone's talking on the right. Now it's going to sound more natural. Hey, sounds cool. Grid view. Honestly, that feels like something that should have been there from the beginning when we got multi-FaceTime support, but that's okay, it's there. Portrait mode is definitely something I'm excited about. I'm a sucker for bokeh, like a blurred vision behind your main subject, in this case, me. For example, right now, you're not getting any depth of field whatsoever because my iMac's built-in FaceTime camera is not really built for that. But with portrait mode, in theory, I can get that. Now, does that require an M1 Mac? I'm not sure. I can find out later. Let me look for their notes here. I'm not going to go through all this. Anyway, in theory, if I can get portrait mode support on FaceTime, whether it be my iMac or my iPhone, then hey, I am all for it, baby. I am definitely all for this. Mic mode's not going to talk about that too much. That's not too interesting. Invite anyone to FaceTime. Oh, even if they're using Windows or Android. That I missed during the keynote, unless they didn't talk about it. But that is something I definitely missed and something that could be quite useful. Because let's face it, we all have our circles of friends with like blue bubbles and green bubbles, and sometimes you want to get person C in with person A and B on FaceTime, but they're on an Android. I'm sorry to hear that, person C. Well, now in theory, you can. Messages and Memoji. Messages, yeah, they have a whole shared with you section. Honestly, this doesn't really do much for me. Photo collections, new Memoji. It is what it is. Focus I could use on the Mac. Basically, this is ways, and yes, ways, plural, because they have multiple focus categories or whatever you want to call them, options, where you can set up focus for driving, fitness, gaming, which could be huge for me, gaming. I don't game on my Mac, but sometimes I do want to automatically mute everything. Actually, example right now, maybe I could set up a focus group or whatever for recording video. That way my iMac would automatically turn off my notifications, mute my iMac. I don't know. Maybe that is built into macOS Monterey via the new shortcuts, because macOS does have shortcut support, and I'll talk about that soon. So who knows? That could be cool. Notifications are redesigned once again. Honestly, I don't have a huge issue with notifications right now, but I do like the idea of catching up with a notification later on, because sometimes you do accidentally open up a notification. I know I do. And then you forget about it and you're like, where did that go? So now I have to search through messages or Safari or wherever that came from and try to find it. So in theory, this notifications update is going to make it easier. Maps looks really nice, very, very detailed. But of course, this is only specific to popular locations like Los Angeles, New York City, and all that stuff. This is cool. Using AR to actually show you where to go. Now, guys, I got to be honest, I've been there several times over in New York City. Now, I haven't been in there a while, but a while ago, I would get off the subway, and I'm like, which stairs do I take? Or, you come up the stairs, and I'm like, do I go north? Do I go south? Now, I get lost very easily in busy cities. That's just how I am, which is weird, because I don't get lost in video games that often. You'd think I'd be better at that. But a feature like this could definitely help someone like me. Geographically challenged. There you go. Those are good words, guys. I am definitely geographically challenged and proud of it. New tab bar design on Safari, which is definitely quite useful, because I think navigating tabs right now on my iPhone sucks. Sorry, it really does suck. And this definitely looks better. So let's click the replay thing and see what it looks like. Now you can kind of swipe between tabs, which is very nice. I am definitely all for that. Tab groups, probably not going to use that too much. Extensions on my iPhone and iPad, this is kind of huge. I use an extension called Honey on Safari all the time. Actually, it's right there. It can actually save me money on a bunch of different purchases, for Apple.com, or if I go to Amazon.com, I click Honey, and it'll automatically search for coupons based on what I'm buying. So now I can do the same thing on my iPhone, which is really neat. So that's pretty cool. That's just another way for Apple to extend the ecosystem, if you will. That's a good word, ecosystem. ID cards, now you can put your driver's license in your Apple Wallet, which I think is huge. That's really cool, because I hate physically having to pull out my ID, which I do maybe twice a year, 3 times a year. But now, in theory, it's built into my iPhone, and that's really cool. Now, of course, this is going to vary per state. I don't know what it's like for Pennsylvania. That's where I currently live. But hopefully it could be useful for me. This is cool. Now your iPhone can unlock your home. I still use a key for my house, and I hate it. I hate using a key, especially in the dark when I can't find the hole. That's what she said. Come on, we've all been there, baby. We've all been there. But seriously, I would love to hold up my iPhone or my Apple Watch and just unlock my house with a keypad, which I will be getting soon from, hopefully, Yale. So pretty cool. Live text. This is really cool. The technology has always been there, but now Apple's integrating it directly into iOS 15. So now in theory, I can just hold up my iPhone to a sign and it actually reads it, and I can copy that text and paste that text anywhere I want. Anywhere I want. That's so cool. That's actually really, really cool. And it can even translate in real time. Again, we've had this technology for a while, but now it's built directly into iOS without having to use any kind of third-party apps. And that is huge. Anytime something is built into your primary OS on your phone, your Mac, whatever you're using, that's big. It's huge. Love it. Visual lookup. No joke. We were in Driftwood this past weekend. My mom saw a flower and she wanted to know what flower it was. And I was thinking it'd be so cool if I could just take a picture with my iPhone. I'm not even kidding. Without having to use a third-party app. I wish I could just take a picture of a flower or whatever, and my iPhone would instantly recognize it. And now we can with iOS 15. No joke, guys. I just wanted to do that this past weekend. So that timing is amazing. Definitely a feature I will be using. Spotlights, improvements. Now you can, what can you do? You can get more information. That's cool. Basically, I just use Spotlight right now to quickly launch apps. I mean, I use it all the time. Photos, interactive memories, not really for me. Health, this I'll be looking into more over time. Privacy, I'm always for that. Apple's excellent when it comes to privacy. And, oh my God, this, whoo baby, this is huge. All right, can we go full screen of my ugly face for a second? Guys, how many times have you asked your iPhone, or just asked Siri in general, the most basic command, and she hangs like, hold on a second. This is taking longer than expected. Hold on. Calculating. And then, ooh. And guys, I'm talking about basic local request. This happens to me maybe 2-3 times a week where I'm like, wake me up at so-and-so. And she's like, hold on. This is taking longer than expected. I'm like, what are you doing, Siri? What are you doing? I asked you to execute a local freaking command. There is absolutely no requirement to reach out to the freaking internet, to go to the cloud, to set up a local alarm on my phone. There's no need to do that. And the same thing goes for the freaking calculator. Why do you need internet access to do 2 + 2? Yeah, I know what 2 + 2 is. I'm not an idiot. But still, I'm getting heated. This is huge. So now Siri can finally do on-device commands. David, calm down. Now I'm lightheaded. This is my favorite feature of today, as sad as that is. My favorite feature. Why Apple previously needed an internet connection to do the most basic local device commands, it was always beyond my understanding. It is so effing stupid. So effing stupid. But now we can do it. Favorite announcement today. Thank you. Now I'm mad. But a good mad. Hide my email, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's get away from iOS. iPadOS. Boring. Really, really boring update. However, hold on. Except for one thing. Whoa, baby. Whoa. Slow down there. Improved multitasking looks absolutely huge. Now they make it easier than ever to split screen apps. Now, I got to be honest. I've owned multiple iPads. I have 2 iPad Pros over there. First generation, and over there is like 3rd generation, 4th generation. I don't know what generation it is. I don't use my iPad Pros because there's one huge significant thing holding me back from using my iPad Pro as a daily driver, and that's iPadOS. Ironically enough, like iPadOS is literally the only thing holding me back from wanting to use my iPad every single day, because macOS, in my opinion, is so much better at things like Photoshop, Final Cut Pro 10. And yes, I realize you can now use a mouse and keyboard and trackpad and all that good stuff with an iPad. That's huge, guys. We're getting closer and closer to merging the two, macOS and iPadOS. But we're not quite there yet. However, today's announcement of multitasking improvements seems to make it even easier. So thank you, Apple. Thank you. That did move me a little closer to wanting an iPad Pro. A little closer, but I'm not quite there yet. But there is one thing I have to talk about in relation to macOS, and I'll talk about that shortly. So the app switcher, all that stuff is a lot easier now. We got more keyboard shortcuts, which is huge for me because I'm definitely a pro user, like a prosumer user or a power user. There you go. Those are the words. Power user, where I'm always using shortcuts and commands that not even my parents could pronounce probably. I just say that because there's a fine line between me and, someone like my Uncle Billy. I love you, Uncle Billy. If you're watching, you're probably not. But yeah, I'm just a power user, so I crave shortcuts. I love shortcuts, so I think Apple is moving in the right direction. That's a beautiful keyboard, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful keyboard. We now have widget support on the home screen on iPad. Thank you. They're still not like freeform where you can place them anywhere you want. I see why Apple does this, because they're obsessed with the grid. And that's fine. I love the grid as well. I like things being clean. But now we can actually have widgets on the home screen on iPad. Thank you. That's huge. Like the improved multitasking, this is moving me a little closer to wanting an iPad Pro. I'm almost there. Quick note, this is a huge feature. Check this out, guys. Zoom in, all right? This is a huge feature. How many times have you wanted to just take a quick note, like something you saw or something you heard, and you just want to write it down? This is cool. So now you swipe from the bottom right of the iPad, and you either, I guess, you type it or you draw it yourself with the Apple Pencil or even your finger, and boom, you swipe it away. That's cool. So no longer do you have to open up the Apple Notes app just to take a simple note. Okay, so let's be honest. You're saving what, 30 seconds, a minute? But still, hey, time is money, Time is money. So that's really cool. Thumbnails appear in context. That's great. And more things, more FaceTime. So picture like the FaceTime improvements on iOS, but now they're in iPadOS, which makes perfect sense. Same exact thing, grid view, which actually looks really cool on the iPad. Look at that. That's a lot of people. But hey, I don't even have that many in-person friends, so something I'll never use. Messages and emoji, blah, blah, blah. Focus, all the same stuff. All the same stuff. So there you go. All right. What's next? WatchOS. Am I even going to bother showing WatchOS? They announced like 2 new things. Messages and photos improvement. As well as something else. Let me see. What I'm truly excited about in regards to the next Apple Watch is just that. The next Apple Watch. I don't get too excited over WatchOS itself. However, this is cool. This is cool. So now you can actually see live video of someone at your doorbell. Whether that works with WatchOS and my Nest doorbell, I don't know. I love my Nest doorbell. I love it so much. It works seamlessly on my iPhone, as it should. But does it work on my watch? Now, yeah, I get alerts, but do I get live video from my doorbell? I don't know. Apple and Google aren't the best of friends, but I guess I'll find it over time. Now, see, this is really cool as well. Entryway front door unlocked. You can unlock your front door using your Apple Watch. But again, will that work with what I'm buying eventually? And that's probably a Yale keypad. Most likely. I'll just have to tell in time. You get it, time? Oh, Jesus, I'm so funny sometimes. Car key knows when you're coming. So this is cool. I don't need this because I have my Tesla Model 3 coming next week. Literally next week. So that's all built into my Tesla app. But this is cool. This is cool. We're getting closer and closer to a keyless auto experience, if you will. So that's very cool. I love that. And I believe Apple's working with BMW as one of the first auto manufacturers to make that work. Messages and mail, blah, blah, blah. Focus, all the same stuff we saw earlier. Now, of course, I'm going to take this more seriously over time. But for now, yeah, nothing too insane. So macOS Monterey. This stole the show today. Absolutely stole the show. I'm not going to waste time on FaceTime and Airplay because that's what we just saw on the other updates. Messages. The newly designed Safari definitely looks nice. Okay, so if you look up here, this technically is a waste of space. Look at all this space to the left and space to the right. Now, granted, I am full screen right now, and I'm only doing that because I'm recording. So now this address bar can go over here, and my tabs, or my favorites, and tabs for that matter, can go over here. But what about my favorites? I like the favorites always showing, but you know what? By default, Apple likes hiding favorites. So who knows? Favorites could just be hidden by default, and then your favorites just show up right here. But still, at the same time, you are saving space because, well, check this out. Every time you open up a new tab, you technically are taking up more space with that new bar that opens. So now if those tabs can move to the top right, like over here, that could be cool. So very nice. I am all for that. We got the focus. Man, Apple really likes the focus. Quick Note is on macOS as well. I missed that before, so that's pretty cool. I missed this live. Hold on. Let me show you something. This is cool. You can finally AirPlay to the Mac. Now, 80%, 90% of you are probably like, David, why? Well, someone like me, a content creator, I like to have a local Plex media server for previewing my vlogs upstairs. So I stream everything from my Mac to my Xbox Plex app upstairs in my bedroom, right? Well, no joke, there have been times where I want to preview my vlogs down here in the living room while playing Xbox in the background down here, you know? And sometimes I want to AirPlay my vlogs or whatever I need to preview at the time. You know, like tech review, tech unboxing, this video, for example. I want to AirPlay from my Mac, my iMac, to my MacBook or my MacBook Pro. And now I can. Now I can. Now, you can't AirPlay to another iPad, as far as I understand, but that's whatever. At least I can finally AirPlay to another Mac. That is huge. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me. This is a significant feature. You don't know how useful something like this is until you actually need it in your life. And I can't say that enough, guys. I need this feature quite often, so thank you, Apple. Well done. I love it. That is such a handy feature. And speaking of handy feature, ironically enough, I mentioned this before, this is a feature in macOS Monterey. I'm saying that right, correct? Monterey. Which could push me even closer to having an iPad Pro. So this is actually going to allow me to use my mouse between devices without having to use Sidecar. And I'm not a fan of Sidecar at all. Sorry, I'm not. But this could be really useful. This could bridge the gap between iPadOS and macOS enough for me to make me happy. But would I use my iPad Pro as like a daily driver? Probably not. But there are those times where I want to drag and drop things from Photoshop to Photoshop or whatever. And this could, in theory, make it a lot easier. I don't know. I can't justify spending that much money on an iPad Pro when I could just spend the same amount or even arguably less money on one of the new M1 powered MacBook Airs and get more bang for my buck because I have a physical keyboard and trackpad and all that built into the MacBook. So I don't know. But I will say it again, Universal Control is pushing me that much closer to getting an iPad Pro and actually using my iPad Pro. I say that because I always buy an iPad Pro. I go through the honeymoon phase for the month. Oh my God, I love this thing. It's the best thing ever. And then it sits on the side. I forget to charge it. And then I literally forget I even own it. Like, I'm not even joking. Guys, I love Apple. I love them so much. I'm definitely an Apple fanboy. I'm proud of it. But the iPad Pro, it's like the kind of device I want to love, but I can't. It's not quite there yet. But today's announcements did make it that much more enticing. So we'll see in time. And hey, if any brands out there, I'm just going to throw this out there, guys. If any brands or companies watching want to support me and send me an iPad Pro for unboxing, review, like my favorite apps, all those videos sponsored in your name, let me know. I'm being completely serious right now. I want to create content and benefit your company at the same time. I'm serious. Reach out to me right below. I appreciate it. And shortcuts on the Mac, which could actually be huge because I have 3 displays right now, counting my primary iMac right in front of me. And oftentimes I want to do different things on different displays, and sometimes I find myself dragging too many windows and clicking too many buttons. So now in theory, shortcuts could make it easier. We'll see. I don't know. Make a meme. That's funny. So yeah. Now, gotta be honest, I've never really used shortcuts on my iPhone because I don't really see the benefit in them. But shortcuts on the Mac, where I do 99% of my work, 90% of my work, or even my MacBook, bring it on, baby, bring it on. I am all for it. And privacy, we know Apple, you love your privacy, so do I. And there you go. I'm not going to talk about AirPods today. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But yeah, there you go. iOS 15, iPadOS 15. Talked about Siri. Moment of silence, please, for the greatest update to Siri ever. Okay. WatchOS, Personally, I'm waiting on the new Apple Watch in the fall. Please give us a redesign. I think we're going to get one. And finally, macOS Monterey. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on the Apple keynotes. I mean, like, overall, I thought it was solid. The first half was kind of blah, to be honest. But the second half with the Siri stuff and macOS announcements, that's what really blew me away. I cannot wait for macOS Monterey. I keep wanting to call it Manatee. Thank you guys so much for watching. What were your favorite announcements today? Let me know in the comment section right below. That's it for today's video. I've talked enough. I need to make me a coffee, you know? I need a caffeine boost because clearly I'm lacking energy. Not really. I'm really hyper. It's going to be a good week, guys. It's going to be a good week. Anyway, guys, thank you. I hope you're enjoying your day, enjoying your night, wherever, whenever you're watching this video. You guys are the best, and I'll see you soon. Peace.